Okay, our next guest was a voice in Los Angeles on talk radio for 8 years. Warren Duffy was the host of Duffy and Company. Now he's involved with a group here called CFACT, and he's the co-founder of CFACT California. So please welcome Warren Duffy.
Whew. We got a dose of bad news here tonight, didn't we? I'm sure glad they set up a bar. Can't wait for this thing to be over. Holy Toledo. Well, I've got some good news for you, everybody. There is a business that's thriving in California. It's called relocation reps. These are agents who are sent to our state from other nearby and sometimes distant states, and they entice our businesses to leave California. They're doing great. There are more people beating a track out of California than there are arriving here. We have a real climate problem in California. We've made the business climate so miserable that businesses are pulling out of here. Who's going to pay the tax bills? Who's going to pay for all this stuff that they're dreaming up? I just want to say before I get started here, I am so grateful to the two of you. When I heard that there were going to be guys from the planning commissions up here, I thought we were going to have a fist fight. Because, I mean, if there's one thing I don't like, it's a planning commission. And isn't it great to hear that we've got some friends up there on the other side? We've had a great history lesson. I want to give you a very practical demonstration. How many of you are aware? I want to take this right back to AB 32. Assembly Bill 32, which was the empowerment legislation for something called the 2006 Global Warming Solutions Act of California. In it, there are a whole bunch of things, but one of the elements is called cap and trade. How many of you know how cap and trade works? You think you do. Just turn it up? Good. I need some volunteers. You're a likely suspect. Come on up. What do you like? Come on up. You have to check my notes. You'll remember this. I have a gentleman here who's going to play the role of the state of California. And I have here a young lady who is a dairy farmer. Now, under the 2006 Global Warming Solutions Act, our knowledgeable people in Sacramento called the California Air Resources Board, led by Mary Nichols, who has been described by Tucker Carlson, if you know anything from Fox News. She is the most dangerous woman in America. I mean, think of that. Maxine Waters, Nancy Badger Eyes, Nancy Botox. I mean, Diane Feinstein. Go down the list. Hillary? No. The most dangerous woman is Mary Nichols of the California Air Resources Board. For 6 years, since 2006, they've been figuring out the pollution levels for every business in our state. And they put a cap on it. So, our poor sister over here, who has her dairy farm, your cows do what? They do more than that. Yeah, and they, kind of burp of both. Well, she's in a the state of California issuing carbon credits. Get it? You're going to cap her pollution levels, but if she pumps up enough money, she can buy a carbon credit. Got it? Okay, now, he wants to sell this to you for $100. Could you give him $100 for it? Well, just a second. Well, that's one of the problems, you see. It's kind of arbitrary. They can make up their mind year to year what your pollution level is going to be. But they're going to start off, they're going to sell you a pollution credit over here, and it's a carbon credit, and it'll cover your towels, and it costs $100, and you can buy it from the state. Oops, wait just a second. This has now been ruled a commodity. So this is like gasoline, this is like wheat, this is like corn, this is a commodity now. Pollution is a commodity. And regretfully, the state can sell commodities. So we need a commodity free to handle the transaction. You know who just opened up on September the 12th in San Francisco? Hannah Fitzgerald and the Green Exchange. They've been doing all of this in Europe for 7 years. Cap and trade has been going on in Europe for 7 years. $134 billion. It's cost 12,000 businesses in 30 different countries in Europe. And do you know how much they've impacted the environment? Nothing. That's not what happened to the I would sell this to you on behalf of the state, but gee, I just got told before I came in here. You know the electric guys? Well, when they turn the generators, they have to use stuff that makes smoke. And they offered me $200 for this stuff. And then right after that, one of the wineries, you know when you ferment grapes and it turns into sugar, it makes a gas. The average winery is going to have to pay $2 million a year for carbon credits. So they just told me, you can fool with a lot, don't fool with my wine. So, I'll tell you what, I'll sell this to you for $500. Yeah, I know, make me drop my money too. $500, do you have $500? Very good. $500, okay. You get the carbon credit. You're the state of California. You get $100. Now you understand cap and trade. Thank you very much. Thanks for all of you. Does that make it a little more understandable? You'll notice pollution is not cut down a bit. She gets a credit, her house can keep on doing whatever they want to do. But there's a transaction that happens here. Do you know when the first carbon credit sale is going to happen? August the 15th. Jerry Brown was just on TV 3 Sundays ago, and you know what he said? They are anticipating the first carbon credit sales will net $1 billion to the state. And you know what Jerry wants to spend it on? The bullet train to nowhere. I could go into that in a lot more detail, but you've been very patient and you've been here for a very long time, and we still have a couple more speeches to go. Speaking of AB 32, and speaking directly to how this is, I called up Tom McClintock, and you all know and respect Tom, right? He and I are friends 20 years now. We both work together at the Claremont Institute. And I called Tom and I said to him, how is this this Assembly Bill 32, you were up there in Sacramento, how's this going to impact the state? He said, well, first of all, gas prices are going to double. That was when gas prices were $3 a gallon. They're already heading to $6, and probably they're going to go higher. Tom forecast that. He also said that the electric bills are going to go up by 1/3. The young lady who was up here from the ranch, her family's electric bill has already started going north. Then we have the wine people. And then we have, do you realize the biggest target in California for Assembly Bill 32 is diesel trucks? They're called mobile polluters. According to the CARB regulations, if your truck is more than 7 years old, you have to replace it. That's $135,000 per truck. If it's less than 7 years, you have to retrofit it. And that only costs you about $17,000. But a lot of our trucking companies in California are mom and pop organizations. And you start throwing 10 trucks to retrofit them at $17,000 a piece. I mean, that's why people are moving out of the state. We just went to a trade group down in San Diego and spoke down there. And the cement guys are saying, yeah, that's the reality of the California cap and trade law, but here's our reality. We're going to move our business over to Arizona. We'll still deliver your cement. It's just that there's going to be a slight mileage charge. And everything that we built, you drive home tonight, you look at where the cement is being poured right now, and just imagine all those businesses leaving our state. I wanted to give you a rundown, just very quickly, of where some of these businesses are moving to and who they are. Bubba Gump Shrimp Company moved to Texas. The Claim Jumper from Irvine, that's where their headquarters are, just moved to Houston, took 200 jobs with them. Google just moved a big new plant that they built in Pittsburgh. Intel invested $1 billion in a new plant in Vietnam. Digital Domain was Westlake Village. They've moved to Florida. The Investor's Business Daily, the newspaper, moved to Plano, Texas, and took 200 jobs with them. Texas is getting the most of our businesses. The second is Arizona. The third is Colorado. The fourth is Nevada and Utah. And the fifth is Virginia and Oregon. The businesses are fleeing California. Well, I want to suggest something, folks. We ain't going to run for the border. We're going to stand here and we're going to fight. If they're trying to drive us off the ranch, they ain't going to succeed. Are you with me? I don't know that America remembers how to be free. I don't know if we can remember back to when there wasn't a time that they didn't tell us how many gallons of water we had to use when we flush, or how much water the shower head is supposed to pour out. I like a fire hose shower. Don't you? And I get these dribble things. I'm going to go up to the room tonight and it's going to dribble at me. And I just get, where's the government getting off telling me how my shower should operate? They're everywhere. Well, here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to, first of all, get educated. Did you learn anything here tonight? I want to educate you, and then I want to motivate you. There are things that you can do. We have a petition back here. This is my wife, Pam, standing back there. Wave, honey. She's my co-partner in founding our organization, CFACT SoCal. And we have a petition back there. It's not to qualify anything for the ballot. We did that with Prop 23, and we got our ears boxed. by all those global organizations that you saw up there. Those environmentalists, we raised $11 million to support 23. They raised $31 million. We tried that. We're going up to California. We're going to drop off petitions in the office of CARB and in the office of our governor, and we're going to take busloads of people with us. And we're going to make a hit up there. I just know it. So please sign our petition before you leave. It doesn't cost you anything. If you'd like to do it online, go to our website, CFACT SoCal, C-F-A-C-T, CFACTSoCal.org, and our petition is there. We have some other things back there. One of them is a DVD, and it's something that our organization picked up from some Irishmen. It's a DVD that's got Al Gore's picture on the front, and it says, "Not evil, just wrong." I don't think Al Gore is an evil man. Now, you may disagree with that, but I know one thing for sure. He's wrong. He is dead wrong. As a matter of fact, I'm tired of these environmentalists telling me what to do, and then they go off and they do whatever they want to do on my dime. Al Gore owns 4 houses. 4 houses. He has one in Nashville, his little house from when he was a senator. He has one in Arlington. It's a little bit bigger, but still pretty modest. He has a third one back in Tennessee that is a palace. And it uses 30 times the electricity of the average customer in Tennessee. 30 times. You know how he gets a green footprint out of the deal? Over here, he's got his money that he would normally have to pay for a carbon footprint. But over here, he's got all of the green companies that he has invested in. So he buys the carbon credits from his own company, and then he can fly on his private jet and do all the rest. Oh yeah, he has a 4th house. It's up in Montecito. It's about 10,000 square feet. It uses an awful lot of energy, and if you're wondering why he's up there, it's because he's now a partner in the largest venture capital firm in America, Kleiner Simmons. It's a huge firm, and Al's a partner. He makes money off of all of these green investment companies that just somehow seem to wind up getting grants from the Energy Department or the Interior Department or the Commerce Department. Somehow or another, he's getting his palm greased, and he's preaching to us how we should behave. Well, it's time to stand up, guys like Al Gore. I'm tired of being bullied around by people like him, and I invite you to join our little campaign. You've heard to go to the council meetings and go to the planning sessions. Do me a favor, one night a month, turn the TV off. Don't fool around with Angela Jolie's leg. It really is not important. But what's happening to our country is go, speak up, let your voice be heard. And finally, we have educate, motivate, activate, and our 4th ingredient is litigate. We want to sue. You know that today is the 2nd day of a hearing in a district court in Washington, D.C. 20 different states and organizations have filed an action against the EPA to do away with the whole of this global warming nonsense. We may not win every front that's being sued, but we're going to win some of it. We're going to chip away. In December, we had 2 more lawsuits that came up, one up in San Francisco. We managed to get the low carbon fuel emissions that CARB had instituted. We got them ruled unconstitutional. Back in Washington, D.C., same week, we had another 3-judge panel that did cross-state pollution. You know, if you make smoke in Kentucky, they can sue you in Virginia because you're a polluter. Well, that's unconstitutional, and that's what the court said. We've got them on the retreat. We're going to win this thing. Please contribute, if you can, to our legal action fund. We're trying to get $100,000, hire a law firm, take it all the way to the Supreme Court if we have to, and we want to put carb out of business. We want to put California on a no-carb diet. I want to leave you tonight with one thought, and that is, I'm old enough. I was just 74 this past weekend. Yeah, it needs a round of applause, let me tell you. I'm old enough to remember when this country was free. I'm old enough to remember when I could go to school and every morning at homeroom period, we read the Bible and we said a prayer. Matter of fact, I'm a Baltimore boy, and the lady who brought a suit that stopped all of that brought the suit in Baltimore. Her son was Billy Murray. He went to the school right next door to mine. His mom was Madeline Murray O'Hare, the best-known atheist ever in the history of America. Her suit back in the 1950s threw out prayer and threw out Bible reading in the public schools. It's been downhill ever since. Well, I don't know about you. I don't think this fight is a sprint. I think this is a marathon. I don't know if we're going to be able to turn this country around in my lifetime. But I want to plant some seeds, the seeds of freedom tonight, this year, this month, and I want to invite you to join me in that effort. Let's plant the seeds of freedom so that they can grow into another Statue of Liberty that will remain free and a city on a hill for all of the world to see. I invite you to join me in that noble goal. Thank you very much.